Good evening. This is the April 24th, 2025 meeting of the Needham Conservation Commission. I'm Dave Harrer, Conservation Commission Chair. As a reminder, this meeting is being broadcast to the town's YouTube channel and via Zoom, and it's being recorded for publication, later viewing, and administrative purposes. Before we get started, I'm going to confirm the presence of members and staff. When I call your name, please respond. Sue,
Present.
Reed,
Yeah, present.
Bill,
Present.
Fred,
Here.
and Paulina and Clary are not going to be present. And Deb,
Here.
okay. All supporting materials have been provided to the commission members and are available on the commission website. Here's a few ground rules for our meeting. I'll open and introduce each hearing on the agenda and then introduce the applicant and/or their consultant to begin their project presentation. After conclusion of the applicant's presentation, I'll call on the staff and then commission members to provide their comments or questions. Please wait until your name is called. After comments or questions from the staff and commission, I will solicit comments from the public. Please wait until the chair yields the floor to you, and please state your name before speaking. Also, mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Okay, so let's go to the agenda. Are there any minutes, Debbie?
I think I sent out minutes. Sue, did I send out minutes?
You did, and I sent them back.
Okay. And I would have sent them off.
In the package?
Yeah, so I think we can vote on those then. So those were from April 10th.
April 10th? All right. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 10th, 2025?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, let's vote. Bill,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Fred,
aye.
Sue,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, next, we have any enforcement or violation updates?
You're probably best off describing that if you would like to.
Okay, I got notification from some residents that there were some issues at 74 and 80 Gary Road. Specifically, in both cases, there were sediment that was going past the silt socks, or whatever you call them. There were trees that were, trunks were buried in excavated soil on both sites, and also on 74, they were conducting dewatering, which I don't think they had submitted a dewatering plan. And so I went out there myself and looked things over and discussed it with Deb, and then Deb contacted the contractors involved and asked them to, resolve the issues. And as far as I can tell, both contractors had resolved the issues. They had pulled the soil away from the trees. Now, I don't know if you all remember, but on both of these sites, there were some large trees that we had, argued to save, and, everybody agreed that these were worthwhile saving. So the soil has been pulled back, but there was, compaction in the root zone, under the drip zone, and there, in some cases, there's still soil in the drip zone. I happened to bump into the site individual at 74, and they were explaining what they did, and I thought they did a pretty good job, and that you know, once they get the foundation set up, they're gonna backfill the foundation and then promise to remove soil and loose material, you know, in the drip zone of the trees. So I think we resolved the major issues. I talked with Deb and I think in moving forward, I know our new tree policy does explicitly discuss, protection of trees, but I think we need to be more explicit, especially if there are, large trees involved, so that there's no question about what is required. So that's my report. Any
Thank you.
comments?
Thanks for your help.
Yeah. Any thoughts or comments? Yeah, Fred.
Yeah, glad to hear that you could go out promptly, both of you, and get some conversation going.
Yeah, I work for Deb.
You have been deputized. I have a few
Whatever she
deputies helping
whatever
me.
she tells me to do, I do.
So I wonder if there is a way to, I don't know what the length of time is that the trees can tolerate the cutoff of oxygen from all that soil in their drip zone. So I don't. So I think we do need to keep track of how long they're taking to do this. If we wanted to make another request, we could ask for fencing off the drip zone so that there's not any further compaction.
Yeah, I think it's kind of late for that because, of where all the soil is placed and all that. But I do think that is something that we need to stipulate in the future, especially for big trees. And as far as, the impact on a tree, I think it's hard to tell. I know that we had this problem, a couple years ago on a project in Dedham Ave.
Yes, that's one I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and I think the tree is okay, but I think we told the owner that if the tree wasn't okay, we'd be expecting some replacement. If the tree had died. So I'm not a tree expert. I don't know what the impact on the tree is, but we keep our fingers crossed.
Well, then let me ask a follow-up question then, Dave. Is there room for the backhoe to do the infilling around the foundation without further compacting the soil close to the trees?
Yeah, I think they can minimize that.
I'll follow up with them.
Yeah, I haven't studied the site. This is a problem, and I think again we need to proactively deal with this. Our new regulations in terms of what we require for the plans, we are asking for delineation of where the soil stockpile area is. And, we also in our tree policy are asking for, conventional protection around trees, especially the drip zone. So I think, again, moving forward in our discussions, we just need to make that clear with the applicants and, follow up. Deb suggested that, this be, something that needs to be done prior to the initial site meeting.
Yeah, the tree protection should be up, so when I do my pre-construction meeting,
Yeah,
they should be already set up on site.
Yeah, I remember that in this case, we sort of were bargaining with them to save these trees. They originally had them on the removal list.
Mhm.
So So, okay, that's.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that in my opinion, at 74 Gary Road, uh, they were operating in good faith, and you know, when they became aware of the problem, they fixed it the following day.
Great, okay,
So
thank you.
I think they're cooperative. The other site, 80 Gary Road, this is the one where it has like a superseding order of conditions. There was only like one big tree that was affected, and I thought, you know, this is just a side comment, but there was no fence around the site, which I thought was an issue, but come to find out that the town doesn't require a fence around the site, so the excavation is open.
The 80 was the one that went to the state DEP on appeal, is that right?
Right, and they issued a superseding order
Oh, that's what the superseding order was.
of condition. But, you know, the good thing is the sites are flat and, you know, doesn't look like there has been much, you know, erosion or sediment, you know, moving off the site.
Well-
Either site, so.
So Dave, is this the right place for us to learn something from what the superseding order of conditions was and how it differed from ours? Or is there?
Yeah,
is
we
there
could talk about that, but I don't think, you know, we should do it right now.
Okay,
You know, we
but
can.
I would sometime like to learn what the state made of that appeal.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is not much,
Yeah, there really isn't any difference.
but it's, you know, what would be useful to discuss is what the process is and, you know, how the state kind of takes over if there's an appeal.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
And it also depends on who is reviewing it, because
Mm.
311 had more issues, and we met DEP out there, and they required a new plan. But then they gave it back to the commission to issue. And on this site, they issued a superseding when there wasn't much difference. And I asked that DEP reviewer, and she said it depends on who reviews it, whether they take it over or not. So,
I see.
Yeah, one last comment. I would encourage any of the commissioners to go out and look at these projects because, like I'm an engineer and so I've seen a lot of sites and I've seen a lot of drawings and I can relate to, but you know, sometimes I think it's good to look at a drawing and then look at, you know, the reality and sometimes it's eye-opening.
It's a good suggestion. I think for some of us, it was our first site visit since joining the commission. Quite memorable.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I try to go out and look at projects just because I'm curious. But anyway,
once they file for a permit with us, we're allowed to go on the property. So, you know, of course, knock or ring the doorbell, but
yeah.
legally we can go on the property.
Okay, so if there's no other comments, let's continue. The next item was 11 Glover Road. This is a continued hearing for notice of intent. I'm trying to think of what the issues were.
Well, that was the one they were gonna put in the driveway.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah. And so they,
the infiltration.
yeah,
Hi, good evening, commission members. I'm Nicole Ferrara from LEC, representing the applicant, and then the project engineer Al Gala has also joined us as well. If I may share my screen, I can pull up our plan, but just to refresh everyone's memory, at the last hearing back in February, we discussed with constructing a 2-story addition and a small deck off the rear of the house, and then also expanding the driveway. And the work is located within the 100-foot buffer zone and the 200-foot riverfront area. We have submitted some revised plans in response to comments from the commission members. We included a summary of those changes in our cover letter. And specifically, we've revised our stormwater design to comply with the standards for Needham. And then we've also requested a waiver for the restoration work that's within the 25-foot no disturbance zone. And we've also submitted Mass DEP data sheets as well as revised our NOI form just to reflect those changes. So I've pulled up the plan. In orange are the buffer zone lines for BVW, and then in blue are the riverfront area setbacks, and then in yellow we have the bordering land subject to flooding. And this actually should be orange, not yellow. So like I said, we did revise our plan. We included the addition of a fence, which is where my cursor is in black. It's going to go along the portion of the property line, connect to the sides of the house just to enclose the lawn area within the backyard. And that fence will just be put, like I said, in the lawn. We're also, we added a little porch in the front here, as well as shortened up this patio in the back. So those were just some minor changes that we added. And then in terms of the infiltration systems, we've upgraded our stormwater management to include 2 infiltration systems. We have one in the backyard within the existing lawn, and then we actually have one underneath the driveway. And like I said, we have Al Gala on board. Al, would you like to add any details regarding the stormwater management?
Good evening, Commissioners. Al Gala from Gala Simon and Associates. So this is a revised plan, as Nicole has stated. Our original plan had the new driveway as porous pavement, allowing the water from the driveway itself to infiltrate and at the same time offset the increase in impervious area. We later found out that the town of Needham has specific requirements for additions that if you have to infiltrate adjacent roofs to the addition. So that's what this design reflects. And for that, we came up with 2 drainage systems, one in the front, one in the back. Basically, the front system takes the frontal portion of the house and the addition, and the rear portion. These are Caltech systems. I would like to point out that on the back system, the system had to be somewhat raised, and some filling has to occur within the floodplain. So we calculated that at 65 cubic feet. Adjacent to that area, we are proposing to excavate out and provide 119 cubic feet to offset the amount of filled floodplain. So that's the revised design. It will meet the requirements of the zoning of Needham also.
Great, thanks, Al. Took the words out of my mouth with that compensatory flood storage. Like Al said, we did include that to offset the infiltration system, and we have our flood fill comp calculations right on the plan. And then I believe that's all the changes that we have. Just to refresh the commission and for our mitigation that we're providing, we have the stormwater management, we have our erosion controls around the limit of work, and then we also have the inlet protections, the silt sacks at the catch basins, and then we have our wetland and buffer zone restoration plan that we presented at the last hearing, and that's about 4,280 something square feet of restoration of both the wetland and the 25-foot buffer zone. And then we're proposing some permanent demarcation of that along the new lawn edge as shown on the plan. That just about covers it. I'm happy to turn it over to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. So Deb, do you have any comments?
No, thank you for going over the changes. I
Okay,
don't think that I have anything.
all right. Let me ask the commissioners. Any commissioner have a comment? Raise your hand. Fred?
Yes, I can't remember. Did we already see the planting plan in terms of species going in there? I vaguely remember that we did.
Yep, I can zoom in so you can see it. We have all native species with no landscape cultivars. It's we have 2 trees to replace the 1 tree we're proposing to remove, and then we have 30 shrubs, and then we're going to install a native fac wet meadow mix, and then a mesic to dry native pollinator mix.
Okay. What's the tree that's being compensated for? That's being taken out? What's being lost?
Yep, it's a Norway maple, and that's
yeah.
Yep, the one that's next to the addition.
Okay. Looks good. Thanks.
Great. Anybody else? I just have one question. In your submittal, did you do a test pit, soil test pit?
I can respond to that. We did 2 test pits, pretty much on the location of our drainage systems. And you'll see them there marked with, they look like targets.
Right,
So the
right.
front is test hole 1, the back is test hole 2.
Okay. And yeah, I think you had a report there, right?
The, yes, the information is on the plan, test pit information.
Yep. Okay. That's my only comment. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions? I don't see anybody with their hand raised. So,
I have to draft this still, so it'll be ready on the May 9th hearing.
okay. So if that's the case, then we need to continue this hearing to May 9th. So can I have a motion to continue the hearing for 11 Glover Road, DEP file 234-946 to May 7th, was it? Or May
The 9th.
9th, I'm sorry, to May 9th?
Motion to continue.
I second.
Okay, let's vote. Bill,
Or May 9th, or May 8th, I'm sorry.
May 8th?
Yeah.
All right, May 8th. Bill,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. All right, thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is 72 Valley Road. It's a continued hearing. I believe the issue was we were looking for more detail on the grading of the site and also a listing of the species and size of the trees that were proposed to be removed.
So,
Karen.
hello,
Karen,
yep, I'm here.
Yep.
So we did revise the plan. We showed the topo. I can put that up if you'd like. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. So we also had, trees outside the buffer zone. So we put all the plantings inside the buffer zone. So you can see we're showing plants all back behind this wall. And I do have a planting list on here. So these are the plants we're proposing. So, and I did go out and take a look at the trees to be removed. So there's a 12-inch pine, 4 10-inch pines, 2 8-inch cedars, 2 6-inch pines, 1 inch oak and a 10-inch oak to be removed. So basically, pine and oak, couple of cedars.
Okay. Deb, do you have any comments?
No, I think the planting plan looks good. I think with the topography, you have a much better idea of the existing site conditions.
Yeah. Any commissioners have any final comments? Fred?
Is is that planting area pretty wet, or is the red oak suited for the amount of moisture in the soil, or
It's
is-
not
So
wet
this-
at all.
It's not wet.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Reed, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just, the planting plan shows a size diameter, but it doesn't show caliper, so I just want to make sure that those trees that are gonna be planted meet the required caliper under our tree
Yeah.
policy.
2.5, right, Pilar?
That's
Minimum?
yeah, the minimum.
Yep.
Isn't that pretty much the same caliper and diameter?
I think it's the same, yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Pretty, yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But this planting plan lists the height of the tree and not the diameter. So
But it says size diameter, I think, right? So I don't know.
oh yeah, but it says size are those inches or feet in that?
Yeah, that's why that was
Inches.
unclear. Yeah, if could
It's
we have
inches.
Oh, it is inches.
Okay,
Okay,
Mhm.
all right,
Okay,
that's fine then. Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I think everything looks good. There's no other comments. Is there anybody in the audience that has their hand up? I don't see anybody.
This I also have to draft for the next meeting. We just got the plan a couple days ago.
Okay. All right, so can I have a motion to continue the hearing for 72 Valley Road, DEP file 234-950 to May 8th, 2025?
Motion to continue.
Second,
Okay, let's vote. Fred,
I
Reed,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night.
Yep.
Have a good
Thanks.
night.
All right, next item is
Oops.
1407 Central Ave, DEP file 234-948. This is a continued hearing. This is the maintenance facility for the town. I believe there were a couple changes that were made.
No.
So
Yes.
somebody want to just review the changes with us?
Yeah, well, I'm Hank Haff, Director of Building Design and Construction for the town. And we have a team from Weston and Sampson that can go through those minor changes. And Tyler, maybe you want to start in, or?
Yeah, I can give the summary. There are a couple of minor changes, and I'll just share my screen and walk through them visually. Screen 3. All right. So my name is Tyler Koffelic. I'm with the project manager for Weston and Sampson. And this is for the fleet maintenance garage. The couple of changes that we made were the original plans showed the generator kind of in this location where the dumpsters are now shown. We did a sound study that it was too close to the property line, so we had to find a location back here and add a sound wall to help mitigate sound traveling from the site to the neighbor's property. And then, as mentioned previously, we did relocate this discharge pipe. That was to save a couple of trees, and I did highlight them, yeah, right here. originally these 3 trees were in the path of this pipe. It originally terminated right around here. So just by shifting the direction of the pipe, we were able to move it out of the way of the trees. Um, those are the main changes. I
And I
believe.
think it says there's an addition of a perimeter stone drip edge.
Oh yeah, that's just shown right here. It's
Okay.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, thanks. Any comments, Deb?
Nope. I do have a draft of this for us to review.
Okay, any comments from the commissioners? Yeah, I think we had a pretty good presentation last time of the project, so doesn't look like you're making any substantial change. No comments from the commissioners. I don't see anybody in the audience to comment, so I would suggest a motion to close the hearing for 1407 Central Ave, DEP file 234-948.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Okay, let's vote. Fred,
Aye.
Reed? Reed?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. And we'll take up the order of conditions in a few minutes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last item on the written agenda is 293 Rosemary Street, DEP file 234-949. This is a continued hearing for notice of intent. Who do we have representing this project?
Russ Waldron, me, yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna pop the plan up here.
okay, Russ, thanks.
Right. So just as a quick recap from last time, the project is an addition off the back of the house. Currently occupied by an existing addition. The new addition will sit on a full foundation. Roof runoff is proposed to be infiltrated here with the Cultec style system. And I believe at the first meeting, we were asked for some mitigation plantings at least 186 square feet. So we're showing an area here, which is worked out to around 200 square feet. Proposing some northern white cedar or, American arborvitae, 4 of them at 2 to 3 feet here. And I was asked to include a redevelopment narrative in the project description, which I did. And the third request was for soil testing and results. And I think, as I mentioned last time, that's pretty much going to be scheduled to get done when the equipment is on site to actually do the demolition and new construction work. So once I get those, I can ship them over to Deb so she can have them. And that's pretty much it from last time.
All right, great. Deb, do you have any comments?
Yeah, so I didn't get this plan that, has the planting area on it. So if you could email that to me and mail out 2 hard copies.
Yeah, I thought I did email it to you. And
Yeah, for some reason, I don't have it with that.
Okay,
That area.
I'll
You
get
had
to
showed
you.
me a plan with 2 planting areas on either side.
Oh, yeah, I changed that. That's right. Because
Yeah, so,
originally we were thinking we were going to put one here and here,
yeah,
but it just seemed like a better idea to go here. So
yeah, and it
I'll
didn't
get
have
to
the
that.
plant species at that point either, so.
Yeah, I'll
And
get
the
to
other
that.
thing that needs to be updated on this is where it talks about the decrease in impervious coverage. It's supposed to be increase.
Yep, that was right. So you don't have this plan. I'm trying.
Well, this doesn't have it fixed either.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, just up where. Yep, up where,
Oh, it got totally removed and did not just get switched. I see. All right, I'll get
up
that
where it
added
says
to it.
proposed increase in impervious up in the box on the right-hand side.
That's on the previous rendition.
It's on the one you're on. You see where it says decrease and it's underlined in the box to the right
Existing
of the
land,
plan.
existing patio to remain.
Nope. Nope, get away from that part of the plan, go up to the
Oh, up here.
right-hand, there you go.
Oh, that didn't get changed.
Right, it's supposed to be increase.
Yep. I'll get that done. All right. Yep, that went out to the surveyor, but it got missed, so I'll have him change that for you.
Okay, and then just email it to me and mail me out 2 hard copies.
You betcha.
Thank you.
All right. Right, any of the commissioners have any comments? Fred,
I noticed the applicant had a hand raised. I don't know whether you want to hear
Ah.
from us first.
Yeah, hi. How are you guys? Thank you for doing this, by the way. No, I had my hand raised because I thought I dropped the plans last Thursday, but I think it was just the one without that change that just mentioned. So
okay. Anything else?
Oh,
Fred?
did you drop off hard copies?
I dropped them. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my video.
It's okay.
I dropped 2 hard copies of the plans plus 2 Word documents last
Okay.
Thursday. So very early in the morning, a very nice lady opened the door and she said that she will give it to you. So yeah.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
rang our doorbell.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. Actually, that was me. Yes.
Yes, everyone has to ring our doorbell. Yeah, if you could just give me 2 hard copies of the final
Okay.
plan would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, I did have an additional comment about whether that's a realistic plan to put that planting area right against the house.
So
whether-
so Rosemary Brook is across the street, down a hill. So as far as where to put the mitigation plantings, they're not going to be near the resource area anyways. So that's why I didn't, kind of push to have a separate area.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It doesn't need to be closer to the waterway, but is the homeowner likely to want to keep like tall evergreens right up against their building? Because that just seems like it might not end up suiting them over the long run.
Yeah, I mean, we could, we looked at, putting them in this area, keeping it within the riverfront or out front somewhere. And the applicants kind of, their first thought was, again, like Deb said, put one here, put one there. And this, with the patio and everything here, it was just going to be too tight a squeeze, I thought. So I just moved it over to this side of the house kind of randomly, but it can go anywhere within the riverfront. Well, up in this corner or somewhere out in the front here. It's not, doesn't have to be written in stone that that's exactly where it has to go.
Yeah, I may be stepping out of my lane to comment on a design decision, but it just occurred to me that, I mean, we've talked about other cases where when you when you try to create a native planting right up against the foundation, it's a little harder to leave that alone, because there's maintenance on the house to be done and so forth. So I just,
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, I'm just throwing that out there for consideration. But Deb, if you think it's fine, I would recognize your experience on this, so.
Yeah, no, I'm guessing the front of the house, they're probably not gonna wanna have a separated area that they're not gonna be able to maintain. And, I don't know, in my opinion, it's such a minor
Yeah, it's a small little
area,
bit, right?
but it's up to you guys.
Okay.
All right, any other comments?
I just have a quick question. I work with the design team that is working on this project, and we will review and consider the comment you had about we are proposing the planting area. But in relation to the process, what are the next steps after we drop off the final plans, the hard copies? And then after this, what are the next steps to get the project approved and construction happening?
I think unless there's any other comments, that we're in a position to close the hearing tonight. And I believe Deb has drafted an order of conditions, so.
Yeah, so the commissioners need to come in and sign the permit, which I assume will get done sometime the beginning of next week. And then I put together all the paperwork. I'll let you know it can be picked up, the permit. You need to record it at the Registry of Deeds. And there's a 10-day appeal period once it's issued where you cannot start work. And then we'll need to meet on site before the work can begin, once the erosion controls and DEP sign are put up. So that's kind of the process, but I will send out an email when it's ready and we can go over it then.
All right, Debbie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, if there's no further comment, and it doesn't look like there's anybody in the public audience, then I would take a motion to close the hearing for 293 Rosemary Street, DEP file 234-949.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let's vote. Sue,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, there's no other listed items on our agenda, but I think we had a couple last minute things to discuss. One was the property on
Yep, so we do have Scott Morrison, who's the wetlands person for 484 Charles River Street, to talk
Right.
about their mowing schedule.
yeah. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Evening. If you recall, we had filed a notice of intent and received an order of conditions for the mowing at 484 Charles River Street back several months ago. At that time, I believe the commission's concern was relating to turtles, so they put a condition that indicated that March would be the preferred mowing schedule for that. In the notice of intent application, I had provided references to several sources, including Mass Audubon, University of New Hampshire, and University of Vermont, indicating what best times to do the mowing would be for particularly bird species, but also pollinators. And based upon that, the suggestion is between August 15th and October 15th. According to the abutter who's been maintaining the field for the past 40 plus years, they've been doing a fall schedule. Based upon that and how, it wasn't an overly wet year this year, but in past years it's been very wet. So the March may become an issue if we've got a really wet year. So we were gonna kind of wanted to reach out to the commission, have a brief discussion to see if the commission would consider switching that from a May mowing schedule to a fall schedule. I think even if the commission's still concerned about, turtles and that sort of thing, we could even push it back a little bit into kind of early November when any turtles would be back in the river. So we just wanted to reach out, ask the commission if you'd contemplate making the revision to the order conditions based upon, kind of the research that was done for the notice of intent, and also addressing the commission's concern.
Okay, thank you. Deb, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think the only thing that I was thinking of is as far as the pollinators and using the dying plant matter essentially to overwinter in. Is there any discussion in the research on that?
I hadn't found any. Kind of the big critical aspect, the important really aspect of fields of this size is really kind of the bird nesting habitat is what I've found and based upon my research. So it allows.
Do we have any idea
bobolinks.
what birds are nesting there?
I don't think in particular, there's a lot of swallows and those type of birds, but you also will get kind of some bobolinks, and it's really kind of a unique, habitat feature for this part of the state where normally you don't get a field that's this size and used solely for kind of, some minor recreational purposes, but for the majority of it, it's just open space.
Okay, any commissioners? Fred, you have your hand up.
Yes. I remember walking along this property a couple of years ago, maybe, and it looked like the mowing leaves all of the brush in place. Am I right, or does it get cleared?
Oh, it gets mowed. We, in the spec, we're mowing it kind of a little bit higher than historically has been done. So we're specifying 6 to 8 inches in height. It's mowed, but all that material is left on site. It's not used for hay and baled and removed from the site. It's literally just cut and it's just lands in place.
Right. Okay. I'm not enough of an ecologist to know whether I think leaving the cut stems in place may help the overwintering larvae to stay alive, but I'm not sure about that. So that might be a mitigating factor.
Okay, Reed, do you have a comment?
Yeah, my only concern is that it not be done too early in the fall. Because fields of this size, are important spots for migratory birds, especially the late migratory sparrows and other similar birds. And so when these fields like this get cut in, mid-August or late August, it sort of takes that away because that's sort of before those birds start heading south. So that would be my only concern.
Okay, Sue?
Yeah, considering the 40-year history of it and the research that's been done, and considering a later fall mowing, I'm all for it to change it from May to a later fall mowing.
Okay, great. Do we want to specify what the later mowing date is, or Scott, do you have a suggestion?
My suggestion, I think the research indicated kind of August 15th to October 15th, but I know that the commission was concerned about turtles, so like we could push it to like October 15th through November, something like that. I think that would be adequate.
Okay, does that sound good to commissioners?
Can I make one more comment?
Sure.
I had a conversation with Julie Richburg, the lead ecologist for trustees of reservations. You know, even if we decide to you know, give our blessings to the November mowing schedule, I would encourage, you know, keeping an open mind and observing what the outcomes are. Anyway, Julie Richburg manages the trustees manages the peninsula, which is very close by, and a very similar kind of meadow, maybe not quite as wet. And the trustees choose to do that mowing in the spring, before the breeding season gets started. So anyway, I think yeah, I would just encourage you know, continuing to pay attention to the results you get, and looking at all the wildlife.
Do they do
Just
it 2 times a year, Fred? Do
No,
they-
I believe it's just once a year.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with the peninsula, and I've seen them mow it in the spring and in the fall.
Yeah,
So,
same.
you know, they're not consistent. I've even seen them hay the place, or whatever, if that's the right verb.
I mean, to harvest the cuttings
Yeah,
sometimes.
but no, yeah. So, and I know the guy who does the mowing, and he's always gets complaints no matter when they do it. So,
I do think that this site is a lot wetter though than the peninsula,
Yeah,
or except for a small piece of the peninsula.
yeah. Okay, so there's no further comments. Do we need to vote on this, Deb, or
Yeah, that would be helpful. So we said October 15th to November 15th, is that?
Yeah, or even to the end of November, I think, you know, to give them some leeway.
Okay,
I
so
think that
no
would be-
earlier than 10:15.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, did Reed brought up something about the migration? Reed, do you know what the times are for that?
You know, it's the fall migration for these birds is it's a very extended period, can extend, you know, past November, but you know, I think the big chunk of it is happening by October 15th, so I think that that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
okay, so if there's no further comment, I have a motion to amend the order of conditions for 484 Charles River Street to allow mowing from October 15th to the end of November.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, let's vote. Reed,
Bye.
Bill,
aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Sue,
Hi.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, Scott, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Deb, is there anything else? I know we had taken a poll on the type of meetings we're gonna have, but I don't think did you get everybody?
I didn't hear back from everyone.
All right, so we'll have to defer.
So you know who you are if you didn't send me a vote. So just try to do that over the next 2 weeks. And I'll send out a reminder.
All right, I know, Fred, you were going to be, or you had mentioned that your tenure with the one of these committees. I forget the exact name of it. You're on mute, Fred.
Sorry, it's the Climate Action Committee. Yeah, Nick Hill sent me a reminder about this and was ready to renominate me for another term, and I thought I'd just make sure it's since I'm the representative from the conservation that I get the green light from you guys.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Same.
Okay, well, thank you, team.
Good luck.
Thanks. And just FYI, I'm going to be out of town for the next 3 weeks, so I'm sorry I won't be able to sign.
Okay. I appreciate it. A couple
Yeah.
people, I put everything out for this meeting to be signed as well. A couple people have already signed. So I'll just need 2 more people to come in and sign.
All right. So we have 2 orders of conditions to go over.
Yes, so I need to figure out how to put those on the screen. Let's see. Mhm.
Just click the little green arrow there.
Let's see, I sent them to you. So, all right, which one do you want to do first?
Hey, your choice.
Huh?
Your choice.
All right, well, since it's first, we'll do 1407. Can you guys see it?
Nope.
You can't see it?
Click on the icon,
Which icon?
the one that says Word document on your screen. We see your email, but you didn't open the document in the email.
Oh, intriguing.
Can-
Okay. Catherine?
I think you have to go like on your desktop and open it from there.
Yeah, I thought I did. Anyways, I emailed them to you too, Catherine. Do you mind putting them up?
Yeah, I could put it up.
All right, Dave.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
let me-
you.
So which one we gonna do first?
We'll do 1407.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still not technically savvy.
All right, you see it?
Yep. Okay. So long description, but they are doing no work within the 50-foot buffer. They are removing 11 trees and installing 22 trees. You can keep going. Yep, those are all the sheets. That is just kind of the project description. Keep going. So down the special conditions, Dave, you had drafted this new pre-construction special condition, number 7 there. So I highlighted that because I added it. That they need to record the stormwater management O&M plan.
Yeah, now
And give
that, just to be clear, that's something that is gonna be in the revised stormwater bylaw or regulations, is that correct?
Yes.
And so we just trying to get ahead of the game here.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, because we had it as they couldn't get their certificate of compliance. But we want to have it recorded at the registry right at the beginning.
along with the order of conditions, right?
Right.
right.
Then I think they should mark the trees on site that they're planning to remove, and I can go out and take a look at those during the pre-construction meeting. And then we have tree protection to be installed and maintained around any of the tree that's to be maintained. You know, that could be impacted during the construction of the project. And those should be up for the pre-construction meeting. Okay, those might have been just, you know, that they should have extra erosion controls available on site, in case there's any breaches or issues with that. Then let us know about the planting within 30 days of the installation. We have the planting plan, that has the 22 native trees they're going to be planting. Keep going. Then we have the plant monitoring requirements. And so we have the stormwater management system must be inspected and maintained in accordance with the approved long-term pollution prevention and stormwater operation and maintenance plan that was prepared by Weston and Sampson, and that should survive the issuance of the certificate of compliance. And that's what I had, unless you wanted to add any other special conditions.
Looks good. Anybody have any comments?
Looks good.
Okay.
All right, so can I have a motion to approve the order of conditions for 1407 Central Ave, DEP file 234-948?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, let's vote. Sue,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay. Next one is
Yep.
293 Rosemary.
Yep. So this was a pretty simple project. As you know, they're removing the existing sunroom, putting in the addition. They added the subsurface infiltration, the mitigation planting area. Special conditions, I don't know if I had anything worth noting besides our normal conditions. Did I highlight anything?
Did they provide their maintenance plan, O&M plan for the stormwater?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't either. I'll make a note. Yeah,
If they
so
haven't, then they should.
Okay.
It should be part of the.
All right, so they do still have to do their test pit, so I have that special condition. Yeah, keep going down. Prior to commencing the order. Yeah, so that talks about the stormwater, yeah. So that has highlighted your new rendition of that, talking about the stormwater O&M plan and having it recorded at the registry.
Yeah, but if they haven't submitted it yet,
Right.
what do we do? Like,
Well, I will tell him that we need to receive it before I'll give them the order.
yeah, it doesn't have to be that complicated. I was thinking that we could maybe post a example for a simple O&M plan, for just a residential infiltration system.
Okay.
I
You
have
have
I have
you
some.
have one you can put together?
Yeah, and then it would make it easier for some of the applicants, you know,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah,
for some-
because people do ask me for them off and on, so.
Yeah, some like the DEP, garage, that's a little more complicated, but anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do that when I get a chance.
okay.
All right, other than that, looks good. Any comments? No? Okay. In that case, can I have a motion to issue the order of conditions for 293 Rosemary Street, DEP file 234-924?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, let's vote. Sue,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Reed,
aye.
Fred,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay. Anything else, Deb?
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. Any of the commissioners have any last minute thoughts?
Good
No?
luck in town meeting.
Mm,
Number 21, warrant 21.
mm-hmm. I'll be up in the rafters.
On our project, yeah, I think there's some good support, so, on the 30th, next week, we're having a Zoom call with the people we had on our volunteer list, so hopefully we'll get a good turnout there. I've been talking to the Boy Scouts, and one troop has identified 3 scouts that are interested in doing a project. So I'm looking at, creating a piece of the big project that is meets the criteria for an Eagle Scout project.
Super.
So, yeah, so
Do-
we'll get
do you
them
think-
involved. We posted something up at the high school, but I haven't heard from anybody up there yet. But I don't know.
Dave, do you think it'll be Monday night or Wednesday night?
It was the 30th, wasn't it?
But
Yeah.
the town meeting.
Oh, the town meeting is Monday, the 5th.
She's
Yeah, but
just
will it-
wondering if we think we'll be on that night or if we'll go on to.
Oh,
the
that's a good
next-
question. I don't know. It could go to the Wednesday. But also this project could be put on the consent agenda as well. So it's hard to tell that. There's like 6 CPC projects that are on the warrant. And the ones that probably would provoke the most comments are the 2 affordable housing projects.
Yeah.
So those I don't think would go on a consent agenda, but the other ones are pretty straightforward, and they might go on a consent agenda.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Hmm.
But I'm not too concerned. Everybody I've talked to supports this project.
Yeah.
Mm.
It'll be
Oh,
good.
one thing, I think tomorrow they might start advertising for Clay's position.
Oh, that's good.
So there's
Good
hope on the
news.
horizon.
Yeah.
Glad to
And,
hear that, Deb.
Thank you. And Elisa is gonna start back remotely on Monday, so yay. Gonna get some help. Thank you,
Good.
Catherine, for helping out tonight.
You're welcome.
Much appreciated.
So I was going to add that on the 15th of May, we're going to do that project that I had mentioned before, the steps from the Esker Trail
Mhm.
Boardwalk.
So you'll get me an order list?
Yeah, the Rotary Club guys are reviewing it now.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. So that'll be a big improvement.
Okay. And so I am gonna send out the Zoom invites for our trail steward volunteer Zoom meeting that's gonna be on the 30th at 7 o'clock. So I'll just send them to all the commissioners and, if anyone's interested in
So
popping in.
I had all the commissioners on the list.
Yes,
on the master list.
I'm just letting them know.
Yeah, but maybe we should
can
just
get
tell them
it,
they better
right.
show up. No, I'm just kidding, but there's a lot of work to do, and I'm really looking forward to getting others involved in this because I think it'd be a good project. Yeah.
I've
Dave,
been advertising to see people.
I'm sorry, Fred. You
I've
had?
been advertising when I see people. Debbie, have you gotten any calls from anyone?
About what?
Well, there was a neighbor who was interested. It's kind of a funny story. Any calls? Have any calls come in about any expressing interest in the Trails project?
No, Dave and I got an email from Mr. Kettle over in the Foster property.
Yeah.
So he's
Wow.
interested. I haven't gotten any phone calls though.
Wow. Okay.
oh, excellent.
I've been talking again to the scout troops and to the high school. as well.
If there's someone interested but not yet made a commitment, can they attend this Zoom meeting or?
Yeah, just forward the Zoom invite to them because
Okay, and my other question is, there's an online trail group volunteer application. Should I be filling that out or not?
no.
Okay, all right.
No, we'll sort that out. Like there's a transition, there's going to be a transition from the Park and Rec to the Conservation Department as far as responsibility for the trails. And so most of the stuff on the town website is old stuff, and it's sort of on the Park and Rec side.
I
of the-
did reach out to Park and Rec over a week ago asking if I could meet with them before our meeting on the 30th. And I have not heard anything back, so.
They're busy. They got their hands full with all kinds of stuff, but
So do I.
So
Well-
we'll get the Zoom link for the April 30th.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Thank
will
you.
do that probably not tomorrow, probably Monday.
all right, that's great.
All right.
All right, there's no other comments. Let's have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
All
Aye.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey.
Opposed? All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Have a
Thanks,
nice weekend.
everybody.
All right, take care.
Good
Bye.
weekend.